Hmm. What up, Cyprian? I don't think this is working here. Twit. Enter. There we go. Why is my Homebridge server not starting? What's up, Chandu? Euro for Homebridge server. Localhost. Is that right? Why is my Pi not coming up? Whatever, we'll deal with that later. All right. Let's see here. We left off yesterday with some tests. Let's see where they're failing. Bone test watch. We've got validate Q-type, Q-class combinations. Right. Right. What were the rules around this again? 2-octet code which specifies the type of the query needs to be a valid type. We have a type. All right, let's pull up the spec. and we want to find Q type. Note that these are a subset of Q types. So we have AFXR 252, 253, 254, and 255. So we'll say we'll come down here and we'll say const Q type is going to equal DNS type dot, actually we want to do a schema dot union on DNS type, and then we want a schema dot literal, and in there we're going to do 252, 253, 254, 255. And I want to put this onto another line. All right. Let's snag you. Do this, yoink. This is AFXR, a request for a transfer of an entire zone. That's an interesting. What up, MS? Oh, our head of recruiting got back to me, and they should be they have a huge backlog right now from I don't know, I guess they had like a bunch of hackathons in the past couple of weeks, so they're working through a queue. I forgot to DM an update. Mail B, a request for mailbox related records. And then we have you. And then we have you. Does that work with dig? Does anyone know? Can you dig star and get everything? Mall mail A. Yeah, I'm excited. We've got a bunch of good shit today. All right, we have that. So let's call these resource record types rather than DNS type, and then DNS type will be resource record type. Do that here, and then we'll do that there, and then the last one is DNS type will be the union type of Q type. In fact, I don't think I need to do that. I think this is fine. Resource record type name. Resource record type name. I kind of want to export a function for this rather than I hate this. We're going to do RR. Alright, we'll rock with that. All right, remind me later. And we need to validate that you now become Q type. Yep, Q type. You get result right. And then from here, we want to let's go back to our const Q type. And we should probably write a, wait, you should be up. Let's do the type for it, export type, Q type equals type of Q type dot type. And then I want const decode Q type equals schema dot decode Q type. How do I want to do this? We'll do decode unknown, and this will take a number, and we'll say value is a number, and then we'll pass that into here, which we'll do const decode unknown Q type is going to equal schema.decode unknown Q type. And we replace that so we're not making that function every time. Decode unknown, that's good. Crab early crab decode Q type. Then we can take this guy, and we can come down in here. We should wrap this in an effect so we can yield. Oh, we are in effect. Great. Excellent. And we should do decode. In fact, we don't even need to do, no, we do need to do that. Can I pipe on this thing? Haha, I can. Is this an effect or not? It's an either. Can I do an either.map? Surely I can either map, right? Yeah. Although we want like a we want to do an either.map and then decode unknown question or Q type. And that gives me, I think I need to do a lift, effect.lift either. Is that what I gotta do? No. From either. Either. Transfers a primary function generate. I need to go to an effect. We'll ask Claude. Claude has access to the docs. Claude, use the effect docs MCP server /tool to look up how to go from an either effect to a effect either. Is con. It's like transpose, right? I swear I just saw docs for this. Find dot transpose to effect dot transpose. This function, that's what I want, but for an either. Maybe I need to upgrade my effect version. Hmm. Oh, it's a subtype of effect. So that means I can flat map it rather than map it. No. That gives us the number. We pass that there. That returns an effect. I have not had any yet. What up, Drain? So we'll run all effects and collect results as either values. How would you write a function to transpose a either to an effect? What does effect.transpose option do? Transpose option converts an option to an effect into an effect of an option. Yeah. This is literally exactly what I want. I mean, I guess I could just yield this, right? Because it's an effect. I guess it's not that big of a deal. Either dot match either. That actually works. I don't remember if I said good morning verse, but good morning. I think we can We'll just yield here, I guess. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. All right, parse issue or parse error. Right, we have to map the error out. So here, when we yield, we need to pipe here. And we say effect.mapError. And we do a struct.get, and we grab the issue, which is the type we're looking for. Yeah. Great. And now we're left with our Q type. Perfect. So now we're validating that we get proper Q types, and our test Q type what are you upset about? Right, we'll fix that in a second. So Q class. Let's go fix the question. We really want this to be Q type from number. Schema.transform or fail. And we're going to go from a schema.number to a this guy, this union here. Yoink. Do that. And then we need our functions. We need our object, actually. It's going to be strict is true. Encode. Actually, decode. We'll do a throw to do. And then we'll encode. Excuse me. Also throw dod. to do. So when we decode, we get our number, and we're going to say, let's actually grab const we'll say QType schema equals this. We're going to grab you, do that, and do there. And then we'll do QType schema here. And then in here, we can say if QType schema dot, where is it? We should be able to get members. Dot flat dot const underscore equals delete in this, paste that there. This should be all of our numbers, right? Schema literal. I thought there was like a field. Literals, there we go. We'll say valid values. Dot concat. And then we'll do QType schema dot members. Actually, Yeah, we can do this. We can say const q type literals, and we'll say that's going to be dot 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 q type schema dot we'll do 0 dot literals dot members 0 dot literals, and then the same one is dot 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 q type dot members at second index dot literals, and this should give us that, and we'll say as const yoink in word, we will do this q type new Vim just froze. I don't know why this happens. Really grinds my gears. This is not right. This is not the thing I was looking for. Okay. We'll say we can get rid of this, and we'll say we probably want, we might be able to use a schema.is. Will this cast u is a perfect schema.is q type schema. We'll say is q type. And then we should be able to say if is q type number throw to do return number. Yeah. Although we should probably just yield here. This should really just probably be an effect. In fact, this can be const decode q type schema, decode unknown. What up, Robotic Head? Thank you for the raid. Welcome, raiders. How's your stream? What were we working on? Schema dot decode unknown q type schema. How do we want to do this? Decode. Let's say this is that. Why can't I comment that? Everyone see that? That's not working. I can't do comments. 10,000 cards on my compile board just does not work, sadly. Oof. But 1,000. It's good. I finished API fixes, starting to test lots of data now. Hell yeah. So I think this can actually become schema.decode unknown Q type schema. I guess maybe not. Decode. The real name of this function is like decode Q type from number. And we'll take that, and up here we'll make this an effect. Return effect dot gen, and we'll do really it can be, I need to start using effect.function more. I hate using effect.function. Take this, go in here, do this, get rid of that, and we'll do const. Really, we can return here. We can just does this return an effect? Why is my GCC not working? That's driving me crazy. Let me see if I can. Update. Does anyone else have problems with Lewis snip updating? I can never get this fetching submodule shit to work. I'm about to rip Lewis snip out and replace it. Really grinds my gears. There we go. Something was borked there. Seems to have fixed itself. I wonder if there's a bug in a dependency. All right, so does this return an effect? So we should be able to actually just return decode unknown Q type, pass number, and then pipe that and do I guess I do need that. I guess it can be like parse result dot map. And we'll do decode that number. And then we need to pipe this into a effect dot map error. And in here we pick out the issue. You apparently get some better stack traces and stuff. Mike just did a thread on this, but there might be in here too. In fact, while we're reading this, let's make Claude teach me the differences between effect.gen, effect.fun, and effect.fununtraced. It like automatically sets up tracing for you too. I just think the ergonomics of it are weird, and I'll explain why in a second. using the effect docs MCP server /tool. I wish the span argument was second. So I wish that this went here. Stack traces with location details, automatic span creation. Or if it was like a, like, I know that the pipe is the second argument to this function here. You can start piping after this function body or after this function. Maybe if there was like an overload where if it took a string and then a function or a pipe, that'd be cool. Yeah, you can see here, it gets, you have your function and then you can pipe here and you get your effect and the original arguments. Like what this, can I open this? Is there a way to open in Playground? They should add that. Like let me grab this example. Like it'd be sweet if we could do something like, I don't know if Maxwell's in here or somebody. I need Vim mode in the Playground in the worst way. Did this run? Is this, I don't know if this is doing anything. Like what if I come in here and do foo bar? There we go. We see, if we look in the trace viewer, oh, that's weird. We don't see the traces. Shouldn't that automatically do a trace for us? You need to provide the dev tools. Oh. Right. Well, that's okay. It wouldn't if I did. Like, it would be nice if I could do, rather than this, like, I think it'd be nice to do something like option 1 would be like, my func. Span name. Right? Something like that. Where it's an overload. That if this is a string. The other annoying thing is like I often do things like let's say const my func equals n is a number, and then it's like effect.gen function star. I'll do something like this, and then I pipe and I do effect dot with span, and I'll do my func span, and then I'll do attributes, and I'll do like the input, right? add that as a, can I format this? Of course not. How do I comment in VS Code? Was it a control slash? Not that. I have no idea how to do this anymore. Dot pipe. What am I missing? That closes that, that closes that, that closes that, that closes that. Am I missing one? No. I think it's just this thing. Yeah. Format document. So I do stuff like this all the time where I want to add the I want to add the input to a span. And this makes that easy to do. This does not. If I want to add this to the span, I either have to come in here and then do yield star effect dot annotate current span and do input, right? And then it would be like n. And we would be to have equivalent be my func span. Or you have to take this and you have to do like, let me bump this down. Let me give this a little function body quick. Format document. You do this, you get rid of that. And you come in here and you add effect.annotate span here, right? It'd be like, ignore that, and then you would have n, and it would be effect.annotate span, current span, input is n, and then you would comma and go on with your pipe. Yeah, I mean, it just feels better to do this. Like, I wish, I mean, honestly, a good default, like I think if I were to propose this, I would say effect.function is equal to effect.fun should not concern itself with tracing and remove the first function overload for passing a span name. And then we would have like it would be like const my func equals effect dot fun function star and not I guess it doesn't really matter. We could, I think they should rename fun untraced to fun, right? Let's grab this. And then I think I'd be okay with the implicit. Like that would be one option here, right? Actually, this one needs to go back. And then it would close here. Something like that, I don't know. That's like not the worst. But then you could also do something like, I think what I would end up writing most of the time is like, get rid of this. And I would just pipe. All right, we can get rid of you, go back. Right, do something like that instead. These sounds like morning demo was good. I'm just fucking around with how I would want effect.function to work. You couldn't I realized that you couldn't swap the position for the string. The other, I mean, that doesn't really help anything. The other thing I'd be okay with is if like it was something like, grab this, throw this in here, get rid of that guy. Let's say we had do this thing where it's like my func, and let's get rid of this. And then if I had like if I could get the arguments here, which I don't know how you would infer that. Even that's not great, right? If this was like n number and you went like attributes input is n, like that doesn't feel super great. I don't know. All I know is something about it doesn't feel good and I don't like using it. And like I'm annotating almost every effect anyways with effect.gen, so like the stack trace doesn't buy me all that much because I already have crystal clear tracing through my entire application. So why would I ever be incentivized to use this? I mean, we're bundling our code anyways, even on the server, which is annoying. Like it just doesn't buy me anything at all. And I would actually honestly prefer getting rid of the automatic piping. Dude, I listened to Don Broco like 4 times last week. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this at all. I don't really like this, and then having to do a annotation up front. Annotate current span. Like that, I don't want to do that. I don't want to start my functions like that. Yeah, I just don't, the buy off for the weird, the worst syntax, or not even syntax, semantics of the pipe is the thing that sucks, I think. Like this double argument thing, I don't like. I don't know. Something about it I don't like, and I know that I'm not gonna start using it in the way it is. See if this came back up. Come on, lame. Okay, I'll have to debug that later. Like I wish, you know what I wish actually? Here's what I wish effect.function was. I've decided what I want it to be. I would want effect.function. I'm just gonna write this in real code now. I would want effect.function to work something like const. I don't know. This still doesn't give me the access to the frickin'. Hold on. I'm cooking on something. Remove the tracing from it. Just make effect.fun. Don't even do anything with tracing. Function star number blah blah. And then let's say we do keep the implicit stuff. Update, do like update effect.withSpan my func to take a function that receives the arguments here. Like that would be fire. Like I would dig that. Right? Yeah, right there's the API I want. Give me this API and I will be happy. This will make me use effect.fun. Sorry for leaking DMs, everybody. All right, I just posted it in core.org. Okay, now that this side quest is done, let's go back over here. Const x equals, I thought I could do this. Maxwell, do you know if there is a, I was trying to figure it out earlier, like transposing a either effect to an effect either? Parse issuer E. I just want that to be an effect. Do I get rid of this? Oh, that does work. Nice. Okay. And then we encode, we get the Q type, and we're just going to return Q type because it is already a number. And we can get rid of this. We don't need this. All right. Now QType.type should be that. And then we want export type QType encoded should just be a number, right? Type of QType dot encoded. Yeah, great. Okay. Let's jump back over here. And why do we have so many errors? Encode question. We need to reserve domains. I think this needs to be as const. That should be as consted. Yeah, there we go. And that should fix that error. Yeah, there we go. And then the other one is encode question. Just have to as const that. Oh no, combo.qtype. We need to as const this guy, as const. We get that. Do we lose the... Oh, right. Let's do it at TS expect error here. Testing invalid case. We need to also go update the Q. Invalid Q class. Where's the spec? The spec says Q class. Where is Q class? Q class values. Q class fields appear in question sections of a query. Q class values are a superset of class values. Every class is a valid Q class. In addition to class values, the following Q classes are defined. Star 255. So we have valid class. We have class typed already. Hi, Dan Mamore. I have a question that I hope you'll be able to answer. I have a project with Kubernetes. I just pushed a feature update, but it's a feature that doesn't have tons of use. I have a pod and canary stage. Should I keep waiting for a client to test the endpoint so I should proceed with the release, or should I just push the release? Can you feature flag? I would just feature flag feature flag the feature and then get it out of Canary, and then you can flip the feature flag when you're ready, and just keep the feature flag on in the staging environment or whatever environment the client has access to for testing. That's what I would do. Do we have class in here? No, we don't. All right, so let's add, let's come in here and add a schema for export const q. I guess there's a class schema, export class. That's going to be resource record class. And this is going to be a schema.literal. Schema.literal, and it's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll have export const q class equals resource record class to schema.union of resource record, and then a schema.literal of 255. Resource record dot class, and I think we want to follow basically the exact pattern, class schema, and then we'll do export const q class, and this is going to equal schema. I mean, we might as well just copy this entire block, right? Speech and class. And we'll set up, yoink these, paste those. We'll change type to class. I don't think we need that. Or actually, this is what we would want here. And this would become class. There we go. Yoink. And now we can set this to a Q class. And we'll want to do something super similar to what we did up here. Actually, rather than piping, we don't really need to pipe here, right? Like we can just do, this probably looks better as either dot map good morning. Can I read this? Hey, what? I'm not going to read this whole thing right now. Oh, okay. How do you feel about it, though? And then this would be decode Q type. Yeah, there we go. That's much cleaner than using pipe. And we can do the same thing right here, where we do either.map, get that, and we do, I think we need to go still make that decode function. I don't think I actually did that. Yeah, we need to do a decode, 22J. Yeah, we want to do that. Then down here, this will get decode Q class. There we go. And Q class result, and we just yield this, right? Yeah. Oh, we just mapped the error. We can probably map the error. Effect.map error. And then we can do struct.get issue. Yeah, that's so much cleaner than piping in this case, at least in my opinion. There we go. Nice. How about that, chat? Now we got that. If we go back over here, privates and type errors. All right, thoughts?
What button is it? I can't see.
Toggle mute.
I can't see. That button? Did I do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're back, chat. Sorry. All right, let's see here. You show my door, por favor?
No. Winnie's in here.
It's okay. All right, let's, this probably just needs more as const issues here. Yep, same deal. As const. Great, invalid question. And the last one is, there we go. All right, let's run our tests. Let's go full screen. Hell yeah, chat. All right. We might actually get to compression this morning. Let's see here. We want to comment out the rest of this. This should be you. We'll come up with better names for this later. Does that pass? That does pass. Excellent. All right, is everything... Sorry, any onlys in here? Yep, right there it was. All right, so we have 2 failures yet, and it's under resource record. So let's do describe resource record dot only. What is this test? I don't even know what scope this is under. Where is that stupid? Yeah, we don't handle puny code encoding yet. Let's go make our schemas better, because that was somewhat hard to read. Let's go in here and go to...
Hi. What are you doing?
like
Do you have
that.
your candle on?
What?
Do you have your candle?
No, why?
I feel like it smells weird in here.
What?
It smells weird.
It smells weird?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm saying it smells weird. You should turn your candle on.
No? Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna get new scent refreshes mailed
Okay.
out soon for our plugs. Okay, so my to-do list today is to tell Fence Guy, yes, go ahead. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Alright, we have that. And then we want to do...
I'm leaving.
Bye.
As soon as I can get Baxter inside, we're throwing hands right now.
You and Baxter throwing hands? I just turned it on.
Oh.
It was on.
I'm sorry.
Got it.
I thought it wasn't on. I was trying to be helpful. No, yeah, Baxter and I are throwing hands. So.
Okay.
Yeah, he won't come inside.
Why did my music stop? Am I still live? Chat, are we live?
Your camera's off.
Oh, my camera is off. Has my camera been off the entire time, chat? Has no one told me that my camera's been off? And it's just been off this entire time? Is that a thing that has happened? Have I been streaming for almost 2 hours with my camera off?
I hope so.
Good God.
Figured it was a bad hair day.
Come on, chat. You gotta yell at me. You gotta yell at me in these cases.
That's so funny.
Figure chilling the birthday. No. I was,
He's just over here typing away, thinking he's hanging out with all of his friends.
Rip.
Oh, you have a big
What?
thing. I don't know. Alright, but for real, I'm leaving for work. I love you. Goodbye.
Bye. Alright. Delete around that. That gets that. We want to get rid of the stars. We're here for the music? Yeah, I know, guys. There we go. The playlist is just my, it's just my DJ.
Oh, and I'm taking your car.
Okay.
Thanks.
Oh, wait, let me just make sure I don't have to do anything today.
I left my car.
Okay.
Like, my keys are on the counter.
All right.
You shouldn't have to do anything today.
Okay.
But yeah, so my to-dos. Fence, ask about fixing patio for now.
Sure.
Great.
Web diffuse. This would be Q type, and I want to grab. Did I grab the comment from here? I really need to set up a custom workspace for Raycast. Q type. We want to grab you, and we'll come here and we'll say format this as a JS doc comment. Winnie, no. We'll drop that right there, and we'll say rather than this, we do a @C, and then we'll drop the link to you. Oh, that's like literally star, right? Yeah, okay. And then we need for type, I'm going to annotate that, drop that there, and I want we'll grab this as the description. And we'll come back and we'll just multi-line this. Because I want to be able to read. Okay, great. And we'll copy this description, use that down here. Boom. Did we end up putting a, yeah. That's fine. Let me make sure that Bodhi's not eating Baxter's food. Good boy. It's okay. I was just checking. I see you lurking though, Bodhi. I see you. Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah, my React Miami talk is probably my favorite talk I've ever given. Really proud of that one. Is Mona Lisa font worth the money? I think so. I sit and I read my font for, you know, 10 to 14 hours a day. I want to be looking at something I like, and I don't mind at all paying for stuff I get a lot of value out of. Like I sponsor quite a few projects on GitHub that I get a lot of value out of. Yeah, I like paying for the things I like. You know? All right, that should give us some better error messages now that they're annotated. Oh, we missed one. We want to grab
functions describe the world.
Thank you for the follow, Rune. Rooney. This would be Q, shoot there, Q class, and we'll change that, get rid of that. And let's come in here and say Q class. And we'll do the same thing as before. Now do this. Copy you. Throw you there. Really, I want to put that on top of this. Throw that there, and this is actually section 3.2.5. The last part we want to do is this guy. Just grab class, copy that. that. I'm gonna have to go calm the dogs down. 1 second, chat. They don't chill in a second. This file's getting quite chunky. 1,400 lines. Yikes. This will be class, and we'll delete that, and we'll yoink you, paste you in there, and we'll do a that plus, where's my plus? I don't even remember where my plus operator is. Oh my god. I'm like having a stroke. There it is. Oh my god, he's stroking out. That might be not safe for work. Get up. All right, we need the annotations then for the next one. Throw you here. This will be Q class, and we'll just grab this bit right here. And we can use these same annotations on the actual Q class. Throw that on there. Boom. All right, we should get some better errors now. What is this? One of these isn't getting named. Is that question? Do I not have annotations on question? I don't. Ah. Identifier, question, description. Is it description? Where? Yoink that, use that as the description. That was a change up in vibes here. A little aggressive. All right. How about now? There we go. Look at that. Now that's pretty. I want to... That's such a nice error message. Every time I get a good Like, that deep bug log is so good. I want to shift tab this. Wait, did I not copy the full thing? Let's just make this bash or something. Let's see, Astro. See if we can get good syntax highlighting on any of these. Maybe plain text? Markdown? No, we'll do bash. I'm just gonna delete that for the tweet. And we'll make that, get that to fit on one line. And let's test some other themes here. Supabase. We could bump this down. Where are you? And we'll do RFC-1035 .test.ts. Oh, I don't know if we want bash though. Tailwind. No, it's not a good attention grabber. No. Something about that's hard to read. That's kind of nice. I kind of like that. All right, so Prisma I think is winning right now. I have been having a lot of success using this theme, 11 Labs. All right, chat, what do we think? Do we want to do Prisma, which is this one? It's still kind of pretty high contrast. Or do we just go with 11 Labs? I think I'm going 11 Labs. Yeah. All right. Yoink you. Over here. Effect schema has the best error messages. Don't at me. Boom. Go give it some likes, chat. That is such a nice... It is such a nice error message. Like truly, it's so good. Let's go chat. Let's go chat. There's some really cool stuff getting announced today at Vercel Ship. You guys should certainly tune in. All right, I don't need this up. I need the spec up. All right, let's figure out why this test is actually failing. I want to find what the value was. All right, let's start with the puny code stuff. So back to our test. Let's grab this, do only, and then we want to comment out everything in here. Oh, Maxwell, do you know why I can't do? One thing I noticed that's really annoying. Actually, are you still in here, Maxwell? Bueller? Maxwell? Maxwell! Maxwell! He's not in here. All right, one failed. Great. All right, let's go look at this test. Yeah, I just sat through an ad. Jesus. One thing that's annoying with EffectTS, VTest, I don't even know how you say it, is if I do a effect property test, I lose the ability to do dot only. I can't dot only things, which is annoying. And I don't think I can do it here. Yeah, I don't have a way to do that. So that's something that should change. All right. That due to puny code encoder. Yeah, I'll open an issue right now. Feature request, effect, at effect/vytest, it.effect.prop.only. I can't currently only run an effectful property test as dot only does not exist on it.effect.prop. What is this feature proposing to solve? What is the feature you are proposing? Adding dot only to it.effect.prop. Boom. Issue created. Let's see here. Puny code encoder online. Yeah. It can be double dashed. Where's the label? Size limits. Does labels say about, is there a rule in here about the valid values for a label? What are valid domain name label rules / validations? What if the domain is puny code encoded? Won't 2 hyphens? Can you have 2 hyphens back to back? Is that true? Is this a valid domain name? All right, we're going to need to go find that RFC. That's probably the hyphen restrictions. What section was that? Damn it. 4.2.3.1. 4.2.3.1. 4.2.3.1. Hyphen restriction. Unicode string must not contain 2 hyphens in the 3rd and 4th character position and must not start or end with a hyphen. Okay. As long as it's not in the 3rd and 4th character position. Right, in this case, it is invalid. Okay, so that's the rule. All right, let's, I want to get a link to this RFC editor 5891, RFC editor RFC 5891, 5891. And we want to go to 4.3.2.1.1. There we go, hyphen restriction. So let's go to our label schema. And in here, how do we want to do this? XN, so it'd be 0, 1, 2. RFC 5891 international okay, so let's get this formatted. Oh wait, hold on. Four dot 3.2.1. Grab that link. Yoink that. Paste that there. Close that up. Cannot have two consecutive hyphens in the third and fourth character positions. For non and fourth character positions for non-internationalized domains. We'll also want to and We need to test if this is X in ASCII. Lowercase x ASCII. $120. $120. And then we want N is 110. ASCII code. And second byte equals 110. If not, is international domain. We'll return this. There we go. That should get the one test to pass, and it did. Why didn't that work? Word this message a bit better. Perfect. And then we'll go back and we'll split this up. All right. What is, if the first byte is 120 and the second byte is 110, that would be, is internationalized domain. Oh, that should have been 1. Ha! There it is. Skill issued myself, chat. All right. So that works now. Great. Let's go back to the tests and uncomment all these and make sure they're working. All right, and the one that's failing now is fails on consecutive hyphens and labels. Yeah. Consecutive hyphens and labels. That is not true. In labels. When the domain is not an internationalized domain. So that would be like xy dash dash. We'll do AA. Foobar. There we go. Great. All right, next edge case is validates record type specific constraints. Validates record type specific constraints. Invalid for a record. Is that true? Are we still on? Yeah, we're on internationalized domains. We don't need that anymore. RD length. Let's just scroll to the top of the spec and we'll search for RD length. An unsigned 16-bit integer that specifies the length in octets of the data field. I don't think there's any A records must have exactly 4 bytes of our data. Is this true? What section of RFC-1035 is that in? 3.4.1. 3.4.1. Internet-specific resource records, where address A, 32-bit host records will have multiple A records. A records cause no additional section processing. The R data section in A line in a master file Okay, so we basically just have to come back over here. Where's our resource record? So we'll say we parse the name. Oh, we need to update this to copy the we need to go to the question, and we can basically copy the name . So we can do this, get rid of that, paste that in there. This will be just name. This needs to move to be inside an effect. Should have done that first. Take that, move that in there. Then we, anywhere we have parse result, we need to yield. Parse result becomes yield star and /0. Yeah, something like that. Almost like that. All right, yeah, and to get the offset, the memory layout of a resource record is different than a question, because we know with the question there's 4 bytes at the end, so we can go backwards from there. But with a resource record, it is arbitrary, which makes this difficult. Frick. All right, we'll just undo that for now. Damn it. That was the problem we solved yesterday, chat, where like we worked backwards to check the rest of the array. So we didn't have to track the offset inside the schema of inside the name schema. That's annoying. All right, and we're looking for type. We get the resource type. That's going to be a number. And then we'll say
Functions describe the world.
our data. So once we parse our data, or RD length, we can come here and say if type is equal to resource record is it RR dot A, and RD length does not equal HODL. What is this? A number? An unsigned 16-bit integer. So we know that it needs to be 4 bytes, right? So we were just looking at KNK previous chat, 4 bytes. How do we validate that this is... I guess it can be as long as it's less than max 16-bit uint. Why can't I copy that? 65,535. 65,535. Greater than... an unsigned 16-bit integer. I don't think this is the right way. You'll have to tune in and find out, WizNoob. Oh, the length in octets. Okay, so this, if it does not equal 4, that makes this way easier. Oh, thank God. We need to return a parse result dot fail new parse result dot issue. How do I do this? I forget this syntax every single time. Dot type. AST RD length. Just gonna pass the UNT array. When a resource record type is 1 or an A record, the RD length must be 4 bytes representative of an IPv4 address. Then we also probably have to make sure that our data, okay, yeah, that's good. All right, what is the test that's failing now? Let's go ahead and Oh, I only did that on the decoding side. Right. So we basically need to do this on the flip side too. So we're building up the label there, blah, blah, blah. I guess we can just do that validation up front. And we'll do if resource record dot type is equal to rr.a and resource record dot our data length does not equal 4. We'll go use that same error message. Yoink. Throw that there. Whoops. That's not the right error message. All right. Still? All right, something doesn't have, that's the resource record. So let's go add annotations to our resource record like we did our question, and that'll give us nicer error messages. Yoink that. Down to resource record. This will be resource record, and then we want to grab this. Is that actually what I wanted to copy? That doesn't feel like the right description. Let's see if I can find a better comment on resource record. Morning, Sachin. No, it doesn't look like there is a 3.2.1.2.1. Yeah. Let's say create a better description for a resource record as defined in RFC-1035. Update the code. whatever. That's fine for now. There we go. Resource record. When a resource record type is 1 or an A record, the RD length must be 4, representative of an IPv4 address. Great. That's what we wanted. Round trip encoding preserves valid resource records. Round trip encoding A records must have 4-byte length still. All right, I think we actually got past the errors we were having. Last swig of coffee. I've had the opportunity to look at code at my new job, and there's so much, and everything is hidden in packages upon packages upon packages. Welcome to the enterprise, Sentient. That's why things like Effect are so good in large companies, because it enforces really strict guide rails. Effect is, for me, is less about like any particular value it brings to a small code base, but it's all about the value it brings to a large engineering organization if they adopted it. It's very hard to scale certain technologies on an organizational and team level, and TypeScript is one of those languages. Yeah, we're using, there's a couple teams using Effect. My team is certainly the most heavy users of Effect. All new domains code is in Effect. Where's that commented out code? I'm soon gonna have to break this up into different files. On name, round trip encoding fails for invalid names. We're gonna be using, let me see if I can even pull it up here. Let me switch over to this tab, Vercel.com, sure. All right, let me log in here. I don't think it's wired up yet, but the new version of this is still the old version, but the new version of our domain search is going to be powered by EffectRPC, which let me see if I can get this feature flag on. Where is this feature flag? Domains. No. That should have worked. Hold on, chat. Give me 1 second. Domains. Enable new search by page. Apply. Here we go. All right, here's a sneak peek, chat. So this is the new domain page. We're doing a lot of back-end work right now. So yeah, the bot's open source. Wait, what the hell? Anyways, so this is going to be where we cribbed a bunch of the optimization techniques from like grep.app. So if you look at like grep.app, you come in here and you want to do like, I don't know, effect.withspan. You see how fast this is? And how I don't know if you notice, like, if you I want to just go to grep.app. If you go to just grep.app.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
Shut up, Siri.
What would you like to know about Grandpa?
When you start typing, this bar seamlessly goes up top and it starts appending. So if we do, see how that happened? So we have that working here. Let's just say foo bar. So right now, this is all just mock data, but this is going to be powered by EffectRPC, which we have the client in the front end. It's just not wired up yet. Like this should actually be knocked out by like the end of this week. Wait, what broke? What was what didn't work here? But this, if you notice, I'm not logged in. Today you have to log in to get to search for cell domains. I don't know, like Dylan Olroy is .online. So it is the one by finite singularity. It's composite blur by finite singularity. So I'll keep demoing sneak previews of Vercel's new domain search stuff. We've been cranking out a lot of back-end stuff for it, but this should also work on mobile. It should have a pretty nice mobile story here. Let's just say I give it 14 Pro Max. And let's, yeah. When you start typing, I don't know if you saw that, when you focus the thing, it goes up, and then you can be like foobar baz, which is much different than today. Which, let me turn off the feature flag. Feature flags. Apply. So here's today. Foobar baz. I guess it kind of does the same thing, but like this, I hate this modal. This is my least favorite UI we have. All right, y'all. I gotta wrap up. It's 10. Gotta get to the day job. Keep working on what I was just showing you. I think it is. I mean, we're betting on it. It works really well. We're streaming server-side events with it for that UI. Well, not that you saw, right? Like, it's the RPC is not hooked up to the thing I was showing you yet. And we have, what's crazy is it's already very fast in prototypes we have where the server-side event stream is hooked up, and we've only used one of our clever optimizations, and we have about 3 or 4 other optimizations for search to speed up that we haven't even used yet, and we're already getting speed similar to instant domain search. So this is the benchmark we're going to beat. So if you're in here like this looks fast, but really, if you notice, for the most case, it's like, it is fast, don't get me wrong, but what's really happening is it's just changing the string, and then when you're done, data loads in. But this is like about how fast it feels when we have our RPC client hooked up with server-side streaming events. And we don't have any of our really clever search optimizations built yet, which I don't even know if we're going to need to, honestly. Like, one of them involves a Bloom filter and some other clever caching techniques. And like, if we don't need to do it, I'm just gonna cut it, because there's no reason to spend money on that extra caching and engineering time on it, because it's already stupid fast with just one somewhat clever optimization. All right. We'll probably write engineering blogs on some of this stuff, but let's raid Maxwell. Thanks, chat. Have a lovely Wednesday, and tune in to Vercel Ship's live stream here in 25 minutes.